Yo guys, and welcome to another Dark Rain video. This time I'm going to be showing you how to go about controlling with mental powers. Now, first up, power over time moves. First I'll show you is Terror Tendrils. As soon as you cast this power off the bar, it will give all of the members of your raid power over time, depending on how much VIT you have. Now the reason I like Terror Tendrils is because it hits all the enemies in front of you and elicits a stun. Next up, Telekinesis. Exactly the same in function with regards to power over time as Terror Tendrils. As soon as you hit it, it gives power over time to the entire raid. Only when you hit it, it only hits one target, so you're probably better off with Terror Tendrils. Next up on the hit list, defense debuffs. And let's start off with Thought Bubble. As soon as you cast it off your bar, it hits everybody in the vicinity of your target for a small AoE and leaves a small might-based damage over time on the person you've targeted, and it obviously debuffs their defense. Next up, Phantom Flames. As soon as you cast Phantom Flames off of the bar, it hits everybody for an AoE and leaves a damage over time on everybody within that AoE, and it obviously also elicits the defense debuff. Next up, damage debuffs. First we'll start off with is Terrorize. As soon as you cast Terrorize off of your bar, it strikes the target that you have selected, but it does not leave any damage over time and it does not hit in an AoE in any way, shape or form. It does, however, still elicit the damage debuff. Next up, Cryokinesis. As soon as you cast Cryokinesis off of the bar, it hits everybody in the vicinity for some AoE damage, including the target you have selected, and it also elicits the classic damage-based debuff. Next up are the healer debuffs, and we'll start off with Pyrokinesis. As soon as you cast this power off of the bar, hits everybody for an AoE initial hit and causes some damage over time, and it also elicits the heal-based debuff. Now this does not stack with Phantom Flames, so if you're using them in conjunction with each other, the dot will overwrite. Next heal debuff, Horrific Visage. As soon as you cast Horrific Visage off of the bar, it has a monster cooldown, but it will elicit the heal debuff, but it also ghosts people, so it's really useful for crowd control. So up next, I'll tell you the loadout I've been using and spec, and how I go about using it, so the iconic powers. In this tree I have Intimidating Gaze, Nanoweave Armor and the Wisdom of Solomon. Next up, the Telekinesis tree. So from this tree I took Telekinesis, Psychic Resonance, Chirokinesis, Psychic Empowerment, Bastion, Thought Bubble and Telekinetic Shield. Next up, the Illusion tree. So from this tree I took Terror Tendrils, Psychic Shock, Phantom Flames, Invisibility and Horrific Visage. So the loadout that I have been running with when I'm controlling with mental, I typically have Telekinetic Shield, Chirokinesis, Phantom Flames, Terror Tendrils and Psychic Empowerment with Bastion. Now, Psychic Empowerment is your standard trolling power dump and Bastion is your standard group shielding that also gives power back to the group. Now, depending on the content I'm running, I will occasionally flip out Telekinetic Shield and pop on Horrific Visage, so that way I've actually got a healer debuff ready to go. Now remember guys, keep pot up, remember to dump power, maintain debuff, and hit that supercharge when you need to, okay? It can save lives. We are Dark Rain, thanks a lot for watching, and as always, we'll see you in game.